Sefer Vayikra is known as Torah's Kohanim. It's the Torah, the laws of the Kohanim, of the priests and all of the work that they used to do in the Mishkan, later on in the Beis HaMikdash. The Torah speaks about all of the korbanos, all of the sacrifices that were brought. For the last several weeks we talked about the building of the Mishkan. We talked about the kelim, the vessels in the Mishkan. Now it was the work that was done in the Mishkan, and all of that was done by the Kohanim in an attempt to bring the Jewish people closer to Hashem. And the Kohanim would wear special clothing, as we learned about in the last couple of weeks. Not only the regular Kohanim, but also the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, would wear special clothes. These special clothes have a direct connection with the story of Purim, with the Megillah. The Pasuk says in the Megillah, Behar oso es osher kavod malchuso ve'es yikar tiferes gedulaso, that when it came to Achashverosh and he made this tremendous party, he showed off his glory of his kingdom. And the Gemara Maseches Megillah explains in the name of Rabbi Yossi bar Rechanina that Melamed we learn Shelavash Bikdei Kehuna, that Achashverosh wore the clothing of the Kehuna, the clothing of the Kohen Gadol. What was his purpose? Was it to make fun of the Jews? Well, we know that one of the sins of the generation of the Jews who lived in Shushan was the fact that so many of them attended this party where Achashverosh wore the garments of the Kohen Gadol, and they attended this party and celebrated with Achashverosh, while realizing at the same time, or not realizing, the embarrassment that was placed upon Hashem and His people of the fact that here was Achashverosh wearing the holy clothing of the Kohanim. So why was it that Achashverosh wanted to wear the clothing of the Kohen Gadol? So Shmuel David Volkin, the Av Bezdin of Lakuch, explains as follows. He says that the reason why Achashverosh wanted to wear the clothing is because Achashverosh wanted to be able to internalize the koach, the power of the Kohen Gadol. And he thought that if he wore the clothing of the Kohen Gadol, he would become like a Kohen Gadol. He would attain a spirit of holiness. But the truth is that the reason why the Kohen Gadol wore the clothing that he wore was that we, the rest of the Jewish people, should see the Kohen and should understand what beauty is about, what splendor is about, what honor is about. But the Kohen Gadol himself was not necessarily impacted by the difference in his clothing. He was impacted by virtue of wearing the clothing and understanding the responsibility that was placed upon his shoulders. As we're told, what made that Kohen Gadol special was that Tocho, his inside, was Ratzuf Ahava, was full of love, and Umalehu Ruach Chachma, and because of that, he was filled with this Ruach, with this spirit of Chachma. So it was this Chachma, that this knowledge, this sense of awareness, a sense of understanding other people, the sense of love, that Achashverosh really tried to attain by wearing the Bikdei Kehuna, but of course, he would never be able to be successful. The Bikdei Kehuna represented to the people the importance of what it meant to have respect and reverence for the physical presence of the Mishkan and for the essence of all the work that was done in it. Nevertheless, it was the Kohen's spirit, it was the Kohen's love that he had for all Jews that brought him, that gave him that special, unique opportunity to lead Klal Yisrael, to lead the Jewish people, and be the conduit for which they would attain kapara, atonement for all of their sins on a regular basis. That was something that was impossible for Achashverosh to replicate. But it's not impossible for us to replicate. The time of Purim, we're told, is a time where the Bnei Yisrael, where us Jews today, to this day, need to show this tremendous ahava, this tremendous love for each other. And as we show love for each other at difficult times, we also show love for each other at joyous times. That's why the mitzvos, the main mitzvos of the day of Purim, are to celebrate together, to eat our Suda together, to be able to give to people who don't have, and to be able to share mishloach manos, to be able to give gifts, to give food, to make other people happy. That's the essence of what the Kehuna was all about, the message that Achashverosh did not understand, and what we recreate by virtue of our observance of the next week that is upon us, the most happiest week of the Jewish calendar. May indeed we celebrate a Purim Sameach. Good Shabbos.